What's up, everybody? It's another Freaky Wednesday with us going on, and we have a lot to talk about getting in with this number six pick that's coming up in this upcoming draft. We have the Carolina Panthers possibly taking Kenny Pickett, Charles Cross, Iquanu. That's the biggest mystery of the year. What do we do at pick number six? I think going forward, and this is my honest opinion, with pick number six, the Carolina Panthers should possibly look to trade back. From out of six, you got a couple of takers that we could trade with and remain in the top 10, and possibly try to trade back and see if we can grab one of those quarterbacks and possibly grab a tackle later on if we get an extra pick. With that being said, who do you think you should get, Will? I think the Carolina Panthers should go out and at number six, I think we should either go with Matt Corral or either Kenny Pickett, because I believe that one of those guys could be instantly game changers and they could come in and change the franchise immediately. And with that being said, we need to possibly look at an offensive tackle. Well, who would be available in the second round that we could possibly pick up that could possibly be difference makers? You have a couple of guys that you're looking at in the second round. But to be quite honest with you, I believe anybody that we take at that tackle position in the second or the third round with that pick that we fall back to get, any of those guys can come in and plug and play. Or the other option is with Carolina, Brady Christensen is seen as a possible left tackle. Do we grab a guard with that second pick that we're looking to trade back for? There are some options that we have here, and it seems to be more intriguing. That's why you see a lot of people that seems to be guessing at what the Carolina Panthers may do. But I believe that we're in a desperate spot this year. We're in a desperate situation with Matt Rule basically having his job on the line this season. I expect him to take full advantage of possibly trying to bring in somebody that could take the reins and possibly try to get this thing going at quarterback under center. And under center, we need somebody that's going to basically just stabilize the franchise. Now, with this being his last year, you assume he wouldn't just take a risk on any quarterback. You figure that they would do their homework, their just do, and find somebody that we can possibly win with right now. And as it's being said, they say that Kenny Pickett is the most NFL ready. But I'm here to say, they said the same thing about Jimmy Clausen when he came out and we took him. And that was a mistake. They said Jimmy Clausen out of Notre Dame was the most NFL ready when we took him. That didn't pan out really well. They said the same thing when we were picking for quarterback versus Cam Newton and Blaine Gabbert. They said that Blaine Gabbert was the most NFL ready. That didn't work out either. Look, Blaine Gabbert has been a journeyman and out of this league. So with them right now saying that Kenny Pickett is the most NFL ready, I'm afraid. If you're a Panther fan, you should be very afraid, because the uncertainty of not knowing basically what Kenny Pickett could be. Could he stabilize this franchise? I mean, we saw what he did in college, 42 touchdowns, Dan Marino record he broke. But is that enough to really stabilize a franchise? Like, if we stick him in, will he stand out against Sam Darnold? Right now, I think everyone in Carolina believes that Sam Darnold is clearly not the answer. He's clearly shouldn't really even be on this roster. And maybe a week ago, he went out on the podcast, Bussin' with the Boys, and he really spoke out and said if the Carolina Panthers take another quarterback, that he genuinely wants to be moved to another team, because he really don't seem like he want to. He really don't seem like he want to compete. With that being said, if you pick somebody, now you have to find somebody to fill his spot. Now, there are a bevy of quarterbacks that's coming out. None of all that really impressive. But I'm high on two different guys other than Kenny Pickett, and that's Desmond Ridder and Matt Corral. I don't know what it is about Matt Corral. His name goes away, but it keeps coming back, and it goes away, and it comes back. And I'm like, what is it about this guy that just keeps flaring in front of my eyes? And I'm looking at his tape, and I'm saying to myself, this guy could be a possible underdog. Like, what are we missing with Matt Corral? That because if you do the consensus and you look at him and you really study his tape, he was going to come out last year and he would have been a top 5 pick last year. You talking Trey Lance, Justin Fields. Lawrence was going to the Jaguars anyway. But I mean, there were so many quarterbacks that came out last year, and you put him right along that talent level. But a lot of people had also said last year, Sam Darnold, if he was in that draft last year, would have been the second taken quarterback behind Trevor Lawrence. And you see how horrible he was this year. So can we really judge that? I don't think so. I really think when you picking a quarterback, you got to look at it as system fit, best, like what basically plug him in this position along with the skill set of players that you have, and can he thrive? Will he thrive? You have to look at, we have DJ Moore, which is a 1,000-yard receiver with no matter who's at the quarterback room. You got Christian McCaffrey, which is possibly a top 5 MVP candidate every year when on the field. He is a difference maker for any quarterback that you get. And those two along with, you got Robbie Anderson, which is a good piece, Terrence Marshall, which is another good piece if he's ever on the field. We just picked up a running back from Tennessee, which is a great power back that basically backed up Derrick Henry. He is a great piece, a great addition. We bolstered this offensive line with basically adding in some great pieces on the right side, along with, we have Taylor Moton, Bradley Bozeman. We upgraded guard spot with the guy from the Rams. I can never remember his name, but he was a great addition too. So we got Brady Christensen either at that guard or either that tackle spot. We have to find another guy in the draft to hold down that other starting spot, because I'm not very high on Michael Jordan. I just don't see it with that guy, but everybody else screams that they love him. And if you're going to bring in a quarterback in this draft, which I believe, I'm betting my money that the Carolina Panthers are going to bring a quarterback in this draft, you got to make sure you protect the guy. And you got to also make sure that he has weapons to throw to. So along with that, say we trade back out of 6, we take a guy basically like in the top 10, you go for like a Matt Corral, or you possibly go left tackle first and then look for the quarterback in the 2nd or the 3rd round. That would be the better position, because you solidify 2 needs in one role and you don't really reach for someone. Because the consensus is if you grab a quarterback in the top 5, top 6, the top 10, he better be a Hall of Famer. And I don't see any of these guys filling that role. So with this being said, we got a plan for the future, and we got a plan for what's now. And right now in Carolina, it's time to have a quarterback and somebody to stabilize that position to really get us going, because we're trying to win football games and we're tired of being in the top 10 every year. So I'm looking forward to seeing what's the possibility in the way that Scott Fitterer is really thinking of putting his team together. I have to say, I'm very impressed with the free agency moves that he made, and I'm interested to see, do he go left tackle first or quarterback, or offensive guard, then quarterback? Because I don't see him picking at number 6 with such a gap all the way to the 4th round. We don't have a 2nd round pick. We don't have a 3rd round pick. So in order to garner some kind of interest, we have to make a trade to be able to get somebody in the 2nd or 3rd round where we can get some value right there, because we trade away our picks, 1 to get Darnold and CJ Henderson. So we need to do something to possibly pick up a 2nd round pick. That way we can find a player, a skill position player that we don't have to reach for. So with that being said, guys, reach out to me. Tell me what you think. I'm here. I'm all ears with this. What you think we're going to do at pick number 6. I want to say that the Carolina Panthers are going to trade back. I would love it if they did. Thank you. I appreciate it. I would love it if they did that. Um, but let's be honest, man. I'm to the point where trying to figure out what the Carolina Panthers is going to do is it's so hard to figure out where they're going with this pick because it's like once you figure them out, they throw you a curveball. They send smoke screens because they don't know what they want to do and they don't want anybody else to really know what they're going to do. But I mean, we all in this together. We're trying to figure this thing out because we just want to see a better product. As consumers, we want to see a better product on the field. And I believe that this year they got to get it right because if they don't, Matt Rhule is going to get fired. Um, that's just the first and foremost. He will be fired within the first 5 games if he don't get this position right. So if he want to keep his job, his best bet is to make sure that he bring in. Well, he brought in competent staff, but he also have to bring in now a quarterback to put everything together with. So I'll be making more videos. I'm gonna do a live this Saturday coming up. It's gonna be an NFL roundtable with not only Carolina fans but just fans all around. Because with the upcoming draft coming up, I want to see how everybody feeling about the picks that their team is going to possibly make and see if everybody been doing their homework. And so I'm interested to see how we stack up against everybody else. So if you think this is pretty decent today, man, join my roundtable. It's going to be 5 o'clock on Saturday. I will put up a link to it. And if you're there, please like and subscribe and, spread the word. See, boy, I'm out.